I would like to introduce to you somebody, one of your own. He hosts a radio show called Highway 61 Revisited every Monday night and every Saturday night, 5 p.m. It's the world's greatest Bob Dylan radio show. I've been listening to it myself, and there is nothing finer. KUMD, who's got a stand out there, they help him with this show, and he does that show. So check it out every Mondays and Saturdays at 5 p.m. He's also the world's greatest magician, escape artist. He's going to do some magic for you now. I'd like to introduce to you Mr. John Bushey.
Thank you. Born March 24th, 1874, to a Jewish family in Budapest, Hungary, immigrated to the United States at a very young age, and then moved to New York and changed the field of magic. Does this story kind of sound familiar? Similar to a young boy born in Duluth, raised in Hibbing, born May 24th, 1941. Moved out to New York at the age of 18, changed the field of music. There's a lot of similarities between Harry Houdini, because that's who Eric Weiss became, and Bob Dylan. And I'm here tonight to just kind of do a couple of tricks. The ones I do tonight were done by Harry Houdini, the greatest magician that probably has ever lived. He was a magician and an escape artist, and as an escape artist, this is not magic. This is skill, the knowledge to pick a lock, or hit a handcuff and cause it to open, or be able to untie knots when you were tied up. When Houdini lived, there was no sound in movies. They were back in the silent film days. Houdini was an expert in knots. And this is a short demonstration with a short piece of rope that gives you an idea how skilled this guy was with a piece of rope. He could tie his shoes, for instance, faster than anyone on earth. And as try as I might, I've not been able to I know it's not that much, but it's all he had. Try as I might, I've tried to duplicate this feat. I've practiced and practiced and practiced. I've got it pretty quick, but maybe not quite as fast as Harry. I'll give you a demonstration. Can someone out there yell, go? I'm down to about 0.3 seconds. And if you ever have your shoelace come through the loop on one or both sides, you know you get a big knot. And if you don't pull it too tight, you can still untie it. If you pull it too tight, which Houdini did deliberately, then he would practice untying it. By the time he became an escape artist, he could undo any knot with his toes, his teeth, or his fingers. And to demonstrate how fast he could untie a knot, again, someone out there just give me a good go. It's way easier. It is, trust me. Go home, try it. And just don't call me if it doesn't work. So how did Houdini do this? Quite simply, he would make a loop in the rope, pull the end through. What this gave him was a knot and a rope. And then he would wrap another rope around it. And he had the ability to change the knot, to make it into a sliding knot. It would slide up or down the rope, to make it jump to another rope. He called it a jumping knot. And the truth is, it also slides. I don't like it when it slides, it's just way cooler when it jumps. But truthfully, the knot slides and jumps. But the best thing this knot does is actually vanish right inside the middle of the rope. Houdini invented that. He was tied up, he'd just make the knot go inside the rope, he'd slip out, and the knot would be somewhere else, and it looks like this. I can tell by the applause, you're so impressed. The truth is, it is right in the middle of the rope. That's the kind of skill Houdini had. I'd like to do one more for you tonight, and then we're going to introduce some very special guests. The one I do tonight, I'm going to need a volunteer here, and just for the sake of convenience and speed, hi, come on up. Yeah. And let's give her a big round of applause. This is Lisa. Lisa, again, a demonstration with a piece of rope. Just examine the rope, check it out, pull on it, tug on it, make sure it's good, strong rope. This is one that was invented by Houdini. The truth was, no matter how closely she looks at that rope, it doesn't matter. I'm doing the trick with this one. But, for the sake of all of you, I will tie the world's most complicated knot. And it looks like this. You may say that looks easy to tie, but the truth is that's the only knot in the world that when you grab the center and pull, the ends come off. Not for me, it leaves me all middle. But here, we'll take the ends, we'll put them back on the rope, and Lisa, anytime you say stop. Right there. Could you wrap that around? Perfect, hold on right there. That puts them back on, thanks. So, what did Houdini do? He was an expert. He changed the world by inventing a new genre of magic, escape artistry, dealing with locks, knots, just like Dylan changed the field of music, transformed folk music. Houdini would cut the rope. He didn't even need a scissors. He would have two pieces of rope tied together with a strong knot. When he untied it, it's just exactly what you would expect. Two pieces of rope, the exact same size. On the ends, the middles are just a little different. I apologize, they're supposed to be the same size. Pardon me, I'm gonna start over. It's a good part, I don't want to miss this part. By definition, a rope has a middle and two ends. They switch places. Lisa, just say go. See? That's the way most magicians would do it, until Houdini. He would just take the end into his hand. It would travel right through the rope, popping up over here. Then this end would go right into his hand, traveling right through, popping out here, leaving the middle where the ends used to be. I'll take Lisa's rope. Is that a strong piece of rope, Lisa?
Great piece of rope.
Thank you, then examine that one. You did pull on this one, right? Okay, you just check it out again, thanks. I have this one, and now Lisa, so you gotta really pull on it. Is it strong?
Yeah.
Here, I'll let you look at this one again too. Is that big one, is that long one strong? Okay, she doesn't trust me.
This is a nice, long, strong piece of rope.
Thank you. Notice, ladies and gentlemen, that I'm on early in the show before you've had too many drinks, because these are different size. If you don't notice that now, there will be no trick in a minute. 3 ropes examined by Lisa, even at the top, and then even at the bottom. Just like that. And if they're even at the top and the bottom, isn't it logical that all 3 ropes would become a little more the exact same size? A trick invented by the late Berg. Thank you. To end the trick, let me put the ropes back the way I found them. And that's where this rope in the middle was actually the rope that just a moment ago was about this big. Leaving one that's kind of medium and one that's long. I spent my life studying Harry Houdini, reading hundreds and hundreds of books. I've also collected a lot of Bob Dylan memorabilia. There are 2 people that both interest and fascinate me. And I've found many similarities between them. Lisa, let's give her a big round of applause. And Marc, is there a piece of paper back there? I'd like to introduce the next guest right on the stool. Yeah, is the paper right back there? We have some very special guests tonight, and I'd like to introduce them. The Music Resource Program. It's a state-of-the-art after-school music education performance program part of the Armory and Arts Music Center, and it's unlike anything else in Minnesota. The program's mission is to educate and inspire young people, and through music, equip them with life skills for the future. And it gives me great pleasure to introduce 2 students from the Music Resource Program tonight who are going to perform a few songs for you to kind of get the music part of things started. So let's give a very warm welcome to Jake Vimeo and Nick Carlson Beckland. Let's give another round of applause to Jake and Nick. By coming to things like this, trying to preserve the history in the Duluth Armory, this is one of the things that they help sponsor, the music resource program, and makes it possible to have guys like that come on stage. So let's give the music resource center. Speaking of history, we're going to go back in time about 2,500 years. The earliest mention that we have, or the earliest drawings of the supposed linking rings. They call them the Chinese linking rings, has nothing to do with China. But they go way back in time. I'm going to perform this for you the way Houdini did it about 1900, the year 1900. And as I was at the Peter Yarrow concert, how many were at the Peter Yarrow concert recently here? Peter Yarrow tried to call up some children, and he ended up having to say, okay, anyone under the age of 60 that wants to come up. So we're going to go with the same thing tonight. Do I have a volunteer that would like to come up here and help with this illusion? And usually they stop volunteering after like 12. So somebody that's under 60, you want to come up again? Lisa, again, give her a round of applause. Thank you, Lisa. She's just told me she wants to figure out how I do it. Figures if she's close, she got a better shot. That might be true. Lisa, the way Houdini did this, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 rings. All separate, all steel, and Lisa will get to be the eyes for all of you. Listen. Can you hear that? The ring of solid steel. It's an illusion. They don't really go together. They're solid metal. It only looks like one ring. I did. Links inside the other ring. It's an illusion. It does not look as good from the back. Let me demonstrate. If you were behind me, it looks like this. But seriously, from the front, it looks really good. Yeah, Lisa, do you think there's a hole in the ring? There is. Right here. And that's how you get them apart. You just reach in the hole, and you give them a little pull, a little tug. The truth is they're not together. Here, you can watch real close. But now Lisa's going to get to actually examine the rings for all of you. She'll get to actually try. We'll try and teach her tonight how to put the rings together. First, she will examine this ring. She said it's solid. She'll take these 2 rings. She says they're solid. She'll take... Go ahead, you can hold them. Hold them straight out in front of you, just like this. Lisa, take your other hand. Wiggle the fingers on top of the rings, not out to the audience. Then in the middle. Then down low. Back in the middle. Back on top. Back in the middle. Keep doing it. Ladies and gentlemen, that doesn't do anything, but it sure looks good. Great job, Lisa. What I want you to do is take any one of the rings you want, doesn't matter which one, put it on your left arm. Hold the other rings off up in front of you just like this. Do you know what you did? Good. In that case, could you try to get them apart? Why don't you put the other ring on your arm then? No, not... Well, okay, well, I gotta try and catch up to her here. She's doing very good at the linkalization. We'll put this ring right in the middle of that ring. We'll take the third ring, which is right on my arm. We'll pull it across just like this. Push it down, pull it up, pull it down, pull it up, and just like that, I've caught up. Ladies and gentlemen, the 3 rings of marriage. The engagement ring, the wedding ring, and the suffer ring. So, no, just kidding. Here's how we get them apart. Lisa, you hold the top of the middle ring just like that. You bring them together and hold them in your right hand. Yep, the right hand. The left hand grabs just the other ring on the bottom and holds it flat like a table. Perfect. And you go 1. Then you go 2. And very carefully, on the count of 3, 1 ring flies up and on your arm. She was so close. Next, Lisa, you take any 2 of the rings like this. You blow, and you're getting way behind. Ladies and gentlemen, the real reason Lisa's up here examining the rings, she's had a chance to check them out thoroughly. She put them together, said she doesn't know how, she's trying to get them apart. My question for you now is, are they solid steel rings? They seem to be. She's a little doubtful, but she certainly can't find them. Let me grab those, and you grab these. and you try and get those together. While she does that, everyone watch. Watch. On the bottom, on the middle, all the way up to the top. And like Houdini did over 100 years ago, a rocking chair, a butterfly, a diamond. Even though the rings are the same exact size, one ring holds right through another. 4 rings linked in 8 places. By simply twisting the ring with a twist, it drops with a twist to the bottom. If you have them together yet, oh, you got them together and apart. Are they solid? Solid. Let me help you a little bit and you can help me. We'll take one of Lisa's rings. We'll take the other one right here, pull it across, hook it onto this ring. We'll take it, leave it all the way to the other side. Does anyone out there recognize this? No, Lisa, but I do request. That would look like this. That's the Olympics. That was actually 5 rings put together. For the grand finale, the way Houdini performed it, Lisa will wave her hand over the rings and say something magical. Best magic words I've ever heard. Ladies and gentlemen, the way Houdini ended the linking rings, the chain of 6. The magic words are Bob Dylan, which brings us to a full evening of music coming up yet tonight. And let's give Lisa another big round of applause. Thank you. I just want to say too, it's so great to see so many friends of mine out there, so many acquaintances, so many people I've seen. We have a full week worth of events. You can go check out on bobdylanway.com. All kinds of music events throughout the city, art events, all kinds of things going on. We thank you for being here tonight. Of course, tonight is about the Duluth Armory Center, and coming up next, we're going to have another little bit of magic here by the guy I got to know here a little bit better this week. So let's give another warm welcome to our Master of Ceremonies, Marc Percansky.
Let's hear it for, is that Ed the Handcuff King? Let's hear it for him. Thank Ed Newman for writing great blogs about all of our artists. Thank him tonight. Good job, Ed.